Welcome to a new episode of Tentmaran. Trimaran repair and 3D design for a new sailing adventure. Finally, another episode of Tentmaran. There's going to be a Printmaran soon too, and some of you that have been following me must have noticed that I've been very busy the last months with 3D printing and drawing up for that, and we decided to change that whole Tentmaran idea to a name called Printmaran and keep this boat as Tentmaran because she has the tent. Material is ordered to build a really nice tent for her, and I'm gonna take that with me and the sewing machine and go off to the ocean where I make Tentmaran my Tentmaran.
And that should be a tent.
Stay. Look what I found. Perfect. That's exactly what we need, a table. At least for now. It's not lightweight for a boat, but it has a control to run the engine. Anybody need sewing? That's something else than a boat coming towards you to try to sell you fruit. Sewing jobs from a canoe. And now coming nicely alongside. That's gonna be a bit tricky. We made a table that fits on the base that we found on the beach. It took a bit more time than we thought, because it was quite complicated actually, especially to fit the engine. Oops, I didn't tie it on the canoe.
Niet het mooiste stikwerk, maar wel heel sterk.
That was in Dutch.
Not the nicest stitching, but very strong.
It's an absolute pity Twilight is just laying here, not going anywhere. And that's why I put her for sale. That's what she deserves, somebody that sails her. I've no doubt taking this boat back to the ocean. Or maybe that's another reason why I've decided to take her. If nobody else do, I do. It will be good for me after all the 3D drawing on Tentmaran Twinkle to just take Twilight out. And be very, very exciting to see how this wind vane is gonna work. I will explain a bit on how it all works, and I hope to show you in the coming episodes how it works in real life on the ocean. I need to fix this loose beam.
Just reached 13.4.
Yeah, it has been on the ocean with just this in here and ropes to connect this old beam from when she was a 10-meter boat, which was gonna be a new beam, but never happened because I was busy with Dawn. Dawn? What happened with Dawn? Last year, Dawn's engine stopped in a dangerous harbor entrance. I was alone with Camino on the boat. For reasons we had no sails up. And soon the current washed us upon the rocks of the breakwater. Trying to push this monster off the slippery rocks standing in the water was not a safe exercise, and a couple of times I got almost injured slipping between the rocks and this boat moving heavily in the current. With all that was in me and the help of one man that came, we prevented the worst till a rescue and a police boat came to tow us to safety. And while they were towing us, I paid no attention to the police, and soon the police understood why. when they saw me putting the anchor chain and all the other heavy weights that I could find on the still good float. I got their thumbs up when the damaged float came fully out of the water and now she was safe. And that for sure is one of the great benefits of a trimaran. I must say, they were friendly, helpful and professional, and they towed Trimaran Dawn to a sandbank. The next day I met the Capitania de Porto. The cost was going to be high, but he helped us greatly by granting us permission to do the repairs myself on the sandbank and not sending us to an expensive shipyard. I had to sign that Dawn was not longer seaworthy, that I would do the repairs on the sandbank and absolutely not move her. Stuck to working on the sandbank on Dawn again. Instead of grinding all the loose bits away to get access to the damage, I did a lot with a chisel and a hammer in my square box, floating at the high tides and dragging it over the dried up beach at low tide. And what I did with sanding machines, because of course you need them on a big job like this, I did as usual. Connect vacuum cleaners to your sanding machines. It does not only protect the environment, but it also protects your machines and your own health. Because there doesn't need to be as much dust flying around as I often see at shipyards. People, it doesn't blow away. It only blows somewhere else. But again, not planned, a lot of our energy went back in Trimaran Dawn and nothing was being done to Trimaran Twilight. That plan fell in the water again. And on top of that, when I was sanding and painting, I of course was wondering how in the world were we gonna pay the bill for being towed. They rescued us, but financially it became very difficult. The first part of the job got done, and Trimaran Dawn is now looking better than she was ever looking before, at least at this float. Maybe we should do the other float on the way out. Now it's time for the second part of the job, where everything is gonna smell like diesel and get greasy, something I could not be doing at the same time as repairing the outside of the hull. But I had time to think about what it could have been, and when I opened the tank, for which we had to cut holes to reach it, because they weren't built in smart, we saw inside the tank a big black lump, diesel bacteria, something that grows in the bottom of fuel tanks if there's water. This water comes from not filled fuel tanks. The cold air in the winter condenses against the wall on the inside of these tanks and goes underneath the lighter fuel and cannot escape. And this bacteria becomes very happy and grows fast. And when you go to a rocky harbor entrance and go up and down or in waves, it comes loose and it will stop your fuel pipes and your filters. Now this is actually a very common problem, for which it would be good to have a very small, easy to inspect tank to which you can switch in dangerous circumstances like a harbor entrance. Now the cleaning was a very big job, not fun, but it got done and Trimaran Dawn's engine got working again.
And to answer a question for many, where is Dawn? Dawn is laying there on 4 anchors, waiting for what's gonna happen to her. The best would still be a group of people coming up and making that boat sail again. So there in the distance is Mariposa, and we rowed to this beach when the tide is low so that Camino can have a walk. This is where I'm working on Twilight right now. Is the ball sandy? You don't like sand in your mouth, do you? So we throw it in the sea. Okay, come on, go. Some work to do, Camino, huh? You can get your food. I will dry the boat and wait for the dew to disappear, prepare everything and start putting some carbon on the beams.
and make maybe some coffee. A lot has changed. You've seen me drawing a lot of 3D pictures of a small little boat called Twinkle. It kept me busy. It kept my mind off going too down in the black hole. It didn't get me out, of course. What normally helps the most is going back to the sea. And all the work that this boat needs after the neglect of all the years that I was working on Dawn, it's gone so far back that I could hardly set myself to do it. But I've started with a bit of pain. And I know if I want to take this boat back, I should put some carbon around the back beam, what I'm planning to do today. Because we sailed the ocean with a loose back beam that was just lashed with a couple of wedges of wood in between to tighten it all up. And it worked perfectly, but when somebody came to look and buy the boat because it's for sale, yeah, that obviously was a bit shocking looking, no matter that that went twice across the ocean. People want to buy something that's nicely painted and looks good. That doesn't necessarily make it a strong, good ocean boat. I think the videos of Twilight shows what she is on the ocean. But the best thing would be actually if I take her back myself, and we've ordered material to make a beautiful tent for her instead of this old sail material, one that's nice and tight, also to make a good bimini and covers for the sails. Cheryl will stay for now here. We're not yet sure if Camino is going to come with me or stays here. So where am I going? Maybe to the Caribbean, maybe to South America, maybe I just go for a big spin and come back. It doesn't matter where I'm going. So every day I hope to make a tiny little bit of a video of the improvements and show you Twilight sailing again. And going back to the ocean. Going back to living on the ocean for a while.
Hi, this is Living on the Ocean.
And then building the tent.
Being on this ocean for a couple of days, a week is not enough to see it. Twilight can get away very fast. But that's not why I wanted her. I wanted her because she's an easy boat to sail, with little sail up. She moves good. And that keeps her together. That keeps things from breaking.
And in the time that I'm sailing, I will probably fill some of the in-between times of that with 3D drawing on Tentmaran Twinkle. Now Tentmaran Twinkle, we changed that name very recently, and we have taken everything a bit down of multimedia for that. It's not really going to be a Tentmaran anymore. It developed and it became much more a challenge to see if we could make it printable. Now this is just going to be the future. I'm absolutely convinced of that. Not even drawn by people trying to handle a 3D drawing program well, because IE is going to do that in the future as well. So it's only a matter of time before things like this are just very normal. You know, you want a boat like this or like that, or a dinghy or whatever, or wind vane or part. And you just have the files and have it printed by your own printer or by somebody or by a print farm somewhere that does it for you. Join those together and that's your part. I think that that's absolutely the future. Now, to make this work, it needs to be strong enough. And that's why I think Tentmaran Twinkle will work, because we only print the foam core. It's not going to be foam, it's going to be print shape, but we're going to reinforce that still with carbon and glass fiber. And for that you need to use the material to print with that has a good adhesive to that epoxy that you use, but that's all there. So that's all in process. And bit by bit we will show you pieces. We already have little miniatures printed. I'll probably put up some pictures in this video of where we already are with that. Most important for now, I'm taking a little break of that. So that's not stopped, but I need to get Twilight sailing again. I need to get myself sailing again. And I think I owe all of you, come on, more than 3,000 of you have stayed supporters in the time that we didn't do anything anymore. And I want to thank you for that. I sincerely want to thank you. I want to thank you for staying loyal to us, supporting us with just being a supporter, a subscriber. I want to thank all my patrons that kept on helping us out while there was nothing coming. But it was a help. Above the finances, it was the moral support that you guys were standing behind us. Thank you for that. But let's now go to the positive chapter and flip the page. Let's get Trimaran Twilight sailing again. Okay, Camino? Are you going to help me? Are you going to come with me? Or are you going to stay with Cheryl? If you come with me, then it's easy for Cheryl to fly over. So that's probably going to be what we're going to do. Good boy. And now we're going to do some work. And you're going to lay in nicely in the sun and chase the seagulls that come too close by. Oh, you want your ball? Go! Here's a roll of carbon UD tape. We're going to cut this to the right length. And then we're going to strap that around this. I don't want to touch it yet because I dried it, but I still want the sun to cure it farther. This is going to go 4 times around. It's an easy way to do it. Always have a roll of this with me when I go sailing. Make sure you don't drop it anywhere where it's wet, because there's still water here. It's a bit of the risk. Changed into work clothes. I hope you don't mind the cracks in my clothes. Some cookies. And coffee. A Dutchman without coffee doesn't work. I really like my coffee in the morning. Drink too much coffee. That's for sure. How much work does she need before she goes to the ocean? I really think if I really want to go for it, I think I could get this boat next week back on the ocean. But Cheryl is using the sewing machine to finish off the tent for her boat. And it'd be a bit of pity if she cannot have that nicely done before I go. How do you like our sewing machine?
It's fabulous.
Is it fabulous?
Yeah, thank you.
Our industrial sewing machine is doing a great job on the old stand that we found on the beach. Does anybody remember those? Well, we use the pedal to operate the engine, and it does absolutely great. It goes to all this material that Cheryl got together. And she already got the panels. They already slot into the tracks that we made in the top of this roof. With a PVC pipe, we stuck some plastic on the inside just to make sure that it was rainproof till we have the wheel tent done. But what a big improvement to Cheryl's nice Mariposa. So that's actually the most limiting factor for when I go. I want that done. Now the plan is that she's coming towards me and wherever I am. But her health is so sadly so bad. She's actually right now at doctor's for another interview. Not interview, a consultation. Explaining some more of what's going on with her. It'll be very interesting to hear later what that is. I hope you can understand that we're not putting that all out on Facebook. It's and on multimedia. That's not nice. So the video, it's all going to be a bit more about me, and every once in a while Cheryl will be in there as well. So here we are. Camino, you're standing in front of the camera. Is that necessary? Hey. It's saying, no way, Jose. You should have put baking paper in between. That needs another one made today. I can only set it in tomorrow. Bit bummed out by that. Oh, yeah, it would have been a perfect little insulating pipe that fitted perfectly around this little knot. So yeah, that would have worked if I would have had baking paper there so that it would slid off. Oh. Now I have to make another one. Tiny bit of material. It just takes another day to cure. That's what I find the most annoying from that. But I will have to. Come here then. Sit. Oh, all of a sudden you know all the commands, do you? Down. Good boy. Up. Nose. 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 Good boy. For you. Yeah, no. Oh, now I don't need to be here anymore. I can go to my own place. And check out of the work is already so dry that I dare to put carbon on that. Yeah, there it's okay. It's a bit of a gap between the old beam and this part for the new beam, which is basically U-shape. I'm going to fill the edges up with a tiny bit of foam, which I'm going to do now, and I will show you later. So I had a quick shower in that cold sea. Give me a better reason to go to the Caribbean. It's a bit difficult to do the work and film, so at least I can show you what I did. So this morning I showed you this. Now you can see this carbon fiber going around here. That's 5 times 700 kilos. 7,000 kilos. So that's definitely gonna do it. And then there's the wind vane. The pipes that I wanted to make, that I tried to explain, I made the new ones that go on tomorrow if the weather is good. But they go in between this bolts here and the aluminium from the wind vane. And the next day, Camino is in his favorite spot and shows perfectly how a Tentmaran works. This wonderful cover over the trampoline makes a perfect place to lay on, to relax, to have a bit of a breeze, not be in the rain and have shadow. And it can be improved with an inside tent and mosquito netting, just as you like. And the pipe in the end of the tent can be tightened very well. It's hauled up with the line of the lazy jack and it stopped flapping, because flappy ain't happy. Let's see if we can sand a bit of the carbon from yesterday. For that I need a sanding machine. Have sanding disc? No, they're not in here. It's your self-sanding discs. Well, that's exactly how this is. It's climb in, climb out, climb in, climb out. And that makes this so tiring. On the other side, could you work in a more relaxed place than this? Or is that exactly why it feels so tiring? Because it's such a big contradiction. Sandpaper, where did you hide? Sandpaper, sewing machine, vacuum cleaner. I know most of my dirt will end up in this bucket if it doesn't go into the vacuum cleaner, but I won't be fair to say that you catch everything. I am fair, I think, to say that I go quite far making sure it stays nice. Let's hope this doesn't make too much noise. Doesn't make too much noise probably to film this all, but I'm gonna try a bit. Now, I'm not saying I get no dust inside. I'm not saying that a mask would not be better, but the amount is so small that when they are working next to me in the shipyard, it will be a lot worse. That's one side ready. Actually it's easier because there's no engine bay. What I prefer is this rubbers, squeezies. Yeah, often used to, instead of rolling, to force the epoxy or the epoxy in and the air out. But they're also very good if you round them off, to put filler there and then make nice round corners like this, but also grab it with 2 hands and bend it around corners to get a very nice smooth edge. So we made some nice filler, not runny, I definitely put anti-slip on here because I'm used to step on that, and I can see myself sliding off on the ocean because I'm so used to put my feet on this beam to walk that way. And now I have a patch that after painting is going to be so smooth, so slippery. So, to do this easy, don't try to do it in one go, but you can already see this is an easy way of you can see it. Yeah, you can go towards this and then pull it to the corner. So when I go sailing and you watch me, keep an eye on when I go to this corner and quickly send me a comment. Don't step there, it's slippery. Or Ari, put some filler on that, anti-slip on that spot. Squeezies are actually bigger if I buy them. Maybe I'm Dutch, but I cut them in the middle so I can use them longer. Bit of work underneath here. And then this one looks very nice. Tomorrow a bit of sanding and put some paint on this. Good enough for now. It's wet from the dew. You can see how much water we have every day here on things. But still, it was okay yesterday. It's painted now. I think that looks a lot better. Maybe good I didn't do it because I think the boat might have been sold if I would have done that earlier. And that actually took me 3 days. The other one is the same, but what I also did was, since I have white paint and I like to, if I can, do a whole cap, which was much too much, I repainted the whole side of this float a second time, filled up some more patches first, and that actually makes Tenmaran Twilight look a lot better. I think I should take this mast from a Hobie 16, that's going to be a mizzen mast, off and paint the whole beam. Maybe even paint them black. We have red paint already for years and one can is already rusted through, so we're probably going to paint the sides of the hull red. She could have been in big trouble by now because a boat broke off its mooring, and while she was on the ground at low tide, that other boat with its 2-meter deep keel was 90 degrees wedged to the middle of that side float with the stern. Thanks to the people that put some fenders in between there, it were only some scratches that, yeah, take time to fix again. And of course it was exactly the side that you saw me painting in the beginning of this video. Not any of the other, where you wouldn't even have seen it, but exactly the nice side that got damaged. But it could have been a lot worse. And the owner left his boat in the hands of somebody that rented them out the mooring. It broke. I've seen many moorings in here break. I've seen many moorings in here drag. We've been here for so many years now. I came here the first time in 1999, and we've prevented that always by using anchors. The only disadvantage of that is that when people come too close to you to anchor, they could hook up your anchor chain, or when they are dragging, they can come up into your anchor chain. But heavy weights, I will make a video of what the real difference is. Heavy weights is not a solution to me in an anchorage where everything is this close, because you want to spin right in that circle where you are without the nose going everywhere. But that's indeed for another video that we're planning to do, how to make a mooring with anchors, which you can take with you and do everywhere. Very happy with the result and so excited to go try out that wind vane. I hope you will follow us and see that. Looking forward towards your comments, and great to be back. Great to see you all back. I hope you're happy we're back as well. Have a very nice time. Greetings from me and Cheryl. And well, as I said, there's the water. Very soon, Twilight be floating again.